This is one of the most flammable and explosive kitchen items you have, often more explosive than gasoline, and has killed dozens of people. Flour. In 1872, a massive explosion tore through the Tradeston Flour Mills, killing at least 18 workers and injuring many more. Investigators later found that fine flour particles in the air had ignited, triggering a blast that literally blew the building apart. Just a few years later, another devastating explosion struck the Washburn A Mill in 1878. Flour dust suspended in the air inside what was then one of the world's largest mills ignited and detonated with incredible force. The blast killed around 18 people, destroyed the mill, and leveled surrounding buildings. Even in modern times, similar hazards persist. In 1998, a grain elevator explosion in Kansas, caused by combustible dust, killed 7 workers when dust ignited deep inside the facility. These aren't isolated freak events. They're part of a pattern showing that tiny particles like flour dust, when airborne near spark or heat source, can unleash explosive power far beyond what most people expect. Flour might look harmless on your counter, but under the right conditions, it can be shockingly dangerous. The reason lies in how dust behaves. When flour is just sitting in a bag or bowl, it's hard to ignite. There simply isn't enough oxygen around each particle for a fire to spread. But when the flour is suspended as tiny particles in the air, it becomes something very different, a combustible dust cloud. The danger comes from the fact that each tiny flour particle has a huge surface area relative to its size, giving oxygen plenty of access. That means if there's enough flour dust in the air and an ignition source, like a spark, hot surface, or open flame, those particles can burn almost simultaneously. This can lead to a rapid release of energy, pressure, and flame known as a dust explosion. Scientists and safety experts also talk about the dust explosion pentagon: flour dust, air, ignition source, dispersion, and confinement, all of which can turn a harmless kitchen staple into something explosive. That's why even industries that handle flour carefully invest heavily in dust control, ventilation, and spark prevention, and why you'll see flour used in controlled fireball demonstrations, because it can burn explosively when airborne. So yes, flour can explode, but don't panic. In a normal kitchen, that's extremely rare. To stay safe, just avoid big flour clouds, keep your counters clean, and don't shake flour near open flames or hot appliances. In factories, they use special vents and dust filters. At home, simple cleaning and care are enough. Flour isn't something to fear, but it is something to respect. A reminder that even everyday things can pack explosive power.